to have a relationship with death is to have a relationship with life. I will walk through life with my grief in one hand and love and gratitude in the other hand. And the reason I can walk through life with so much love and gratitude is because I can walk through life with so much grief as well at the same time. This is where like love and grief are sisters that are like intertwined together. Two sides to the same coin. This relates to relationships. In order to love fully, you also have to be willing to die fully, and to experience loss and to feel the grief. But we are in a society today where we're so disconnected from grief, and grief is the natural process of growth.
Welcome everyone to the EONS Ahead Podcast. I'm your host, Alex Wolfe. And on the show, we like to have deep, intimate conversations with amazing people that are eons ahead. And what does it mean to be eons ahead? Well, it means they're ahead of their time. They see things other people don't see, and they're able to communicate those visions to the world, manifesting them into reality, making a positive impact for humanity. And they're often doing things that other people are simply not doing. And I love that. You know, they're trailblazers, they're pioneers, they're leaders in their space. And our guest today is definitely one of those. His name is Ryan Moresby White. And I'm genuinely really excited for Ryan to be here. He's doing some amazing work in the world. He's doing the real work, the inner work. And you've heard me talk about this on this podcast many times, as the inner work is the real key, because that's what's going to reflect your outer world to you. And it all starts with the inner work. He's the founder of the Inspired Man Project. It's a global development company that's helping men transform from the boy into the awakened man. He's inspired over 200 million people on his content on social media, and he's really on such a wave. He's doing some incredible stuff, and we're going to dive in today. He's definitely eons ahead. He's here today, Ryan Moresby White.
Thank you, brother. I got to set that as my wake-up tone.
Yeah, there you go. It's your ringtone, your wake-up tone, and gets you fired up, man.
Yeah, man, it's a pleasure to be here. Thank you.
It's a pleasure to have you here, man. Like I said, genuinely enthused to have you here. We're going to dive deep today. I'm going to ask you some fun stuff, and we're going to get into it because I really admire what you're doing, genuinely. Like for me, I've talked about this many times in the podcast. It all starts with the inner work, you know, and I went so long in my life not doing it and really going for the external, you know, the companies, the missions, all this, which is important. It's great to have a mission. It's great to have a purpose. But definitely starting from within is really where the power shifts, right? It stops outsourcing and goes insourcing. So on that note, let's take it back to the genesis. Like, how did it start for you, for my audience that maybe it's their first time getting familiar with you and your content? What was the genesis? Like, how did you shift from maybe going external to the internal?
Yeah, man. First of all, I love what you shared there around purpose and seeking purpose. And I believe it's not really purpose if you don't really know who you are at your core.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And in order for us to live a life of meaning and purpose, takes for us to go back to and connect with who we are at the deepest core level, which is the little boy, which is the younger parts of us.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where it all began for me.
Mm-hmm.
But it took for me to lose myself in relationships and business and chasing the external, for me to lose myself, to come back home to myself.
Mm-hmm.
And where it began for me, and, you know, bringing it right back to the family system, because that's where it all begins.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we migrated from South Africa to Australia when I was a little boy.
Mm-hmm.
So I've grown up, spent my whole life in Australia. But as we made that transition, and obviously my parents growing up in that country, it's the reason we moved here. It's because of how much fear there is over there and how dangerous it is, right?
In South Africa.
Yeah.
Right. So racism and this kind of stuff.
Yeah, and it just there's many things happening over there that are just very unsafe for especially white families to be living in.
Wow.
Yeah. And obviously, like, you know, my parents growing up in that environment, the trauma that they experienced, and you know, I do a lot of work around family systems and like family constellation. So it's like understanding generationally. But basically, we migrated to Australia, and Dad started working 7 days a week. Right, it's like this immigrant mentality of like we have to make it work. Yeah. So basically growing up in a family where dad worked most of the time. Yes, he was physically present. He was there some of the time. But what I needed most was that emotional connection from him, right?
Mhm.
What my mother needed from him was his heart, his emotional connection, right?
Right.
And what starts to happen is in a family system, the heart of the system is the relationship between mum and dad, between, their emotional connection that they have with themselves.
Right.
And
Because that's where we're learning from, right? As the child.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah. The heart of the system is their relationship.
Mhm.
And we'll speak more about that. But basically, growing up in a family where I experienced this emotional disconnection, not only between mum and dad, but from myself with mum and dad as well.
Mhm.
Um, and I'll kind of pick the story apart a little bit and,
Sure.
and you teach a little bit through it as well.
Sure.
The way I like to kind of explain is that there's three kinds of trauma that we experience. There's like a big experience that happens where it's too fast, too soon, too much for our nervous system to handle.
Mhm.
And we stay stuck in a state of fight, flight, or freeze, right?
Mhm.
Where it's overwhelming for our nervous system. And sometimes that kind of trauma is easier for people to deal with because it's something you can actually place your finger on.
Mhm.
It's something you can go, yeah, I am the way that I am because that event,
Mhm.
and I can actually work with that.
Mhm.
So that's capital T trauma. That's big trauma,
Mm.
like an event or something that's happened that you've witnessed or been a part of. Then there's lowercase t trauma, which is the subtle emotional neglect, emotional abandonment, the disconnection that we experience over a period of time, over a prolonged period of time where it's so subtle that you can't really put a finger on it. It can also be not just in childhood, but in a relationship today. It could be the subtle emotional abuse you experience from your partner or the lack of safety in their ability to not actually be able to communicate in a healthy way, right? That becomes subtly traumatic over time. But then the third one is developmental trauma. And that's an absence of the core emotional needs that we need to have met in childhood to cultivate a strong connection to ourselves as children. And when we don't have those core needs met, we disconnect from ourselves and we be and become whoever we need to be in order to get our needs met and to survive. So this is where this is so subtle, and I'll speak about the core needs that we need to have met to build that connection to ourselves. But this happens in such a subtle way that if our parents are emotionally disconnected from themselves, this child, and as children, we're looking not at the world as it is through our own eyes. We're looking at the world through the nervous system of our parents. So we're looking into their nervous system to reflect back to us that we're safe. And how we can and we still do that today as well, by the way. If you're on an airplane and there's turbulence, we look to the air hostess to reflect back that we're safe. Right. So we still have this mechanism as part of us, right? So as children, we're doing the same thing. We're communicating with our parents' nervous system and
Subconsciously.
This is where attachment, right? Attachment really starts developing, right? So most people know like anxious, avoidant, disorganized attachment styles in relationship. This is where it develops.
Right.
So I experienced these two parents that were emotionally unavailable, emotionally immature because they were still operating from their wounded inner child.
Right.
And then what happened was over a period of time, me as a little boy experiencing this sense of emotional unavailability in my parents, this nervous system that couldn't reflect back to me that all of me is loved and welcome because they were disconnected from themselves. It's like looking into a broken mirror. And over a period of time, right, a soul that doesn't have that core need of unconditional love reflected back to them continuously, like this bedrock and foundation of unconditional love, we start to make meaning of that. There must be something inherently wrong with me, with who I am. So this is where at the youngest age, I started to abandon myself, my true self, where I stopped being the fully expressed boy that I was. I stopped asking for what I wanted. I stopped, I started to just become whoever I needed to be to make sure mum and dad are happy and okay. So that was like the emotional disconnection that started to happen. And then they divorced.
Hmm.
So eventually they broke up.
Hmm.
And I was right in the middle of that as a 7-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
And experiencing that it left this big hole in the family.
Mm.
Now, that then perpetuated the emotional disconnection, not only obviously from mum and dad, but within myself and within my relationship to them.
Mm-hmm.
So I experienced this deep abandonment between mum and dad. And then I witnessed and experienced betrayal from both of them.
Mm-hmm.
And then this was my blueprint of relationship.
Mm-hmm.
This was my blueprint of love. You can't trust love.
Right.
And it's a matter of time before the people you love most leave you.
Mm.
So where I really woke to, like, I'd learned about this, I'd understood it, I'd intellectualized my healing for a long time.
Yeah. Same
Fuck,
here.
man.
Same here.
Yeah. And I was reading all the books, I was listening to all the podcasts, I was going to all the events, I was working with the coaches, right? But nothing was actually shifting. I was still an anxious, insecure mess in relationships.
Mm.
I was still a little boy in business.
Mm.
I still felt small. I lacked the emotional capacity. I lacked depth. I was like this little boy walking through the world.
Mm.
And yes, I was aware of it all, but there was the actual embodiment of the somatic shift that needed to happen by me actually going in
Mm-hmm.
and feeling the grief
Mm-hmm.
of what that little boy went through,
Mm-hmm.
the lack of emotional attunement that he didn't receive in childhood,
Mm-hmm.
and then the entire life that I had built based on the foundation of that.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So this is where it takes for us to grieve the childhood that we didn't have, the
Mhm.
love and connection we didn't have. And sometimes the most painful part is the grief of all of the pain we've experienced throughout our life because of that.
Right. Yeah.
Now, where I really woke to this and woke up to this was I was, it was like 24, 25,
How old are you now, Ryan?
almost 29.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah,
Still
yeah.
a young man.
Yep. But I'd done all these years of work, right?
Right.
And it took for the woman that I loved more than anything in the entire world
Mm-hmm.
that that was the mountain I was committed to. Like my
Mhm.
sword was planted in that mountain.
Mm-hmm.
We're living in Bali together. Yes, there was ups and downs in the relationship. Yes, there was trauma. There was, anyway, I got home from the gym one day. It was a Monday morning. I was feeling good.
Mm-hmm.
Got home from the gym and all of her stuff was packed. She was sitting on the
Mm.
bed crying, and within about 30 minutes, she was gone.
Damn.
And I was in this empty villa by myself, alone,
Mm.
by myself in a foreign country. And my nervous system shut down.
Mm.
I remember laying on the floor. It was like full body convulsing, shaking, vomiting.
Wow.
But I couldn't tell the difference between the man and the 7-year-old boy who was laying on his bedroom floor when mum and dad divorced. And
Wow.
I couldn't tell the difference. And I was like, oh, okay, like this is what I've been missing, is that little boy is still within me.
Mm.
And that little boy has been the one who has been in relationship and has been sabotaging my entire life.
Mm.
And that was the like embodied felt sense and commitment to this depth of work of healing the boy and awakening the man. Because
Wow.
until we actually allow ourselves to process that grief, it's nothing changes. Nothing really changes. So
Yeah. Wow. What a powerful share.
yeah.
Thank you for that. And just to, recap it a little bit, it's like the little boy will keep running the show, whether we realize it or not, until that work is done, until we go within, grieve, create space around it for it to heal, love that little boy as well. I'd like to get more into this kind of stuff in a minute. But what also so much came up for me there. It was great. This is so good. And I love the fact that you brought it to the airplane analogy with the air hostess. I was a pilot for many years, 18 years. And it's funny because to become a pilot, I had to do extensive training, right? Many licenses, many courses, like hundreds and hundreds of hours of training. And for anything in this world of any merit, almost anything, fireman, doctor, lawyer, all these things, right? You need training. You need you need licenses. You need a course.
Yeah.
But meanwhile, all of us are brought into this world by parents that really received no training. And yes, there's books and there's lots of information out there today in the information age with YouTube and all this kind of stuff. But you could read like you said, you could read all the books, you could watch all the videos on YouTube, but you can't, that doesn't mean you're going to fly the plane. And the same thing with parents. Like they don't have the training. They don't go to school to become a parent. It's just the only prerequisites that you need are your sexual organs. And all of a sudden you're a parent, and then you're reliving all this trauma and all this kind of stuff, whether you're aware of it or not, and then it's being passed on to the innocent child. And it's just wild to me that like we're all brought into this world really without any training, and then here we go. We got to go and figure it out. And you did a amazing job of figuring this out at such a young age. And that's what's incredible. And okay, so let's bringing this back to the grieving, like in order for the boy, we'll use the inner boy, or the inner kid, the boy, to really start developing into the man. What takes place there? What is going on? Talk me through like the process of that transformation.
Yeah. The way I like to describe so people understand like the boy or the inner child or the younger parts of us is that when you cut a tree in half, you can tell how old the tree is by how many rings there are, right? Right. So you might see this big tree, but that first initial ring that it once was is still part of the tree. There's no separation.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, with trauma, trauma is basically a wound that you've developed from a traumatic experience or a period of time or lack of your needs being met, is the inability for that emotion to be felt and processed in the way that it needed to in that moment. And it becomes frozen and stuck in the body.
Totally.
And this is where we experience tension in the body.
Yeah.
Because it's emotion that hasn't had the safety or the loving presence, or for it to be witnessed through loving eyes, for it to feel safe enough to actually move. So we hold it in our body. A healthy nervous system is one that can contract and expand. It has fluidity. And when we don't have that safety in childhood to process and feel what it was that we needed to feel, we stay in a state of contraction.
Yeah, we close it down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what happens is when we freeze, we become frozen in that trauma, we're like locked into that timestamp. Yeah. So when we look at these original rings of development, most people, because they haven't reclaimed their childhood, are operating from their initial stages of development. So it's not a 30-year-old man in relationship. It's a little 5-year-old boy who's still in his room because he doesn't feel safe to be part of his family system. Yeah.
Yeah.
And our body, through implicit memory, doesn't know the difference. It doesn't know the difference between that little 5-year-old boy and this moment right now. The emotional body doesn't have a timeline. It just knows where it's at. And that's typically still stuck and frozen in the early stages of development. And that's the whole thing with trauma. So the grieving process is actually going back in and connecting in with those younger parts of us, which we hold in our body.
Literally.
When I work with someone, and I'll speak for myself, I tend to hold a lot of tension in my traps, in my shoulders, right? And every time when I become present enough and create enough stillness to be with the discomfort or the tension that's in my shoulders, if I welcome the emotion that's beneath that every time, is a little boy who felt the weight of the world on his shoulders because he didn't have the emotional support, and he was the emotional support system for his father. It's a lot of weight for a little boy to carry. And that is not his role or responsibility.
Right.
Every time I be with that tension, and I know that as I'm walking through life and I feel heavy, I feel like this tension in my neck, I'm like, okay, it's a little boy. And I get to create space for him. And a lot of grief takes solitude, takes stillness, takes for you to get quiet enough to listen to what the body is trying to speak to you, which is typically the little boy, the younger parts of us. I say little boy because I mostly work with men, but women also have a little girl as well.
Right. Yeah, totally.
And the way I like to look at it, there's many ways. All roads lead to childhood. And there's many ways for us to go down that road, whether it's through the sensations in our body, whether it's through the tension we hold in our body, whether it's through a trigger we experience in relationship, whether it's through our lack of emotional capacity in our business or in our work. When we follow those trailheads, at the end of the road, I can guarantee there'll be a little child that's seeking your attention, seeking your loving presence.
Right.
And when I take men through processes of going in and holding, reclaiming that younger part of him that's really seeking his love and attention, and to create safety for that little boy within him, and create the space for that younger part of him to just fucking cry, to feel it, to reclaim his anger, for him to be witnessed in this loving presence. This is us creating a space to grieve and reclaim our childhood, reclaim the younger parts of us. And also, it's important that we create space to feel the sadness of the life that we've built, because that little boy felt he needed to be a certain way. Yeah. A big key to that as well is also honoring the hurt that we've caused other people from that place, from the world being revolved around me, right? Then that's typically the boy. And what most people think is a toxic, narcissistic man today, which a lot of people very easily throw around, is typically a little boy who's just like, I can't even think of anything or anyone outside of me because I'm in such a state of survival. Right. And I'm so scared. Yeah. And if you don't love me, if I don't get this attention, love, and validation, I will die. That's what that little boy within him is thinking and feeling. Yeah. And yeah, man, it's such a, it's so easy to listen to this on a podcast or read a book. Right. And like I said, I'd learned about it. I gathered information for years. Yeah. And it's actually quite nuanced and difficult to speak about it because it is an experience that has to happen. Right. And that you have to experience to feel the fucking grief and the sadness, the loneliness, all of it that little boy experienced and felt. Yeah. Yeah, man. So it's
that's the work.
Yeah.
That's the work. Yeah, that's the work. And it's so true. I could relate to all of that. I've done all that. You know, I've created $100 million companies because I didn't want to go in and do the work, right? It was easier to, I'm too busy. I got to build this company. I got employees and all this. And it sounds wonderful on paper. And at the same time, it's a gigantic coping mechanism to not go in and feel. And it's really, like you said, is like, we could talk about honey, you know, all day long, but tasting honey and, you know, and having the sensations of what honey is totally different than just reading about honey. Right. So it's like, it's really, truly an experience. And oftentimes for myself, a very uncomfortable experience, but I've made it a priority in my life to really do the inner work first, like above everything else. When I wake up in the morning, it's like, okay, let's go within and just see what's there. Let's see what's uncomfortable. And for me, the thing that how I do it, the practice is just relaxing into it and like getting familiar with that energy without giving it a story. Cause I used to give it a story. I'm like, oh, I'm sad or I'm mad and stuff like that. And identifying the emotion, but then usually there's a story attached to it. So I've stopped doing that, and I just sit with it
Mm.
and just let it burn, and just embrace it, like you said. And then embracing it makes it go by quicker.
Mm.
Because I've also caught myself just going around the loop and getting stuck in that emotion or that
Yep.
energy for the whole day. And I'm like, well, this is really just
Yep.
not productive. Like, but if I give myself, okay, Alex, you got 10 minutes to work through this energy.
Mm.
And I set like that space around it
Mm-hmm.
and embrace it. Like, I'm like, yeah, this is it. This is the work that I get to do. That seems to be really effective for me. And
Mm.
it's like, wow, and I really feel like I'm doing it, and then like in that, then it's clearing.
Yeah.
Things come back. How does that sound?
Man, it brings up this quote or saying that the little boy, the question that the boy asks is, how can I get out of this?
Mhm.
How can I get rid of this feeling?
The escape artist.
Yeah. The man asks, how much can I be with this? How much can I be with this in this moment?
Yeah.
Yeah. How much love and acceptance can I bring to how I'm feeling? How much can I welcome it and be with it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the man.
Yep. That's the man. That's
Yeah.
the man who has the capacity to be with it.
Yeah.
And that, right? If you relate that to relationship, the boy is, I can't deal with this. How do I get out of this? I shut down, I close, I react.
Yeah.
I become defensive, dismissive, passive aggressive. I don't speak my truth.
Yeah.
Where the man is, yes, this is fucking hard. Yes, this is challenging. And how much can I be with this? And what is it I need to do and create? What space do I need to create to be with this fully?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's the man.
That's the man.
difference.
That's the difference. Yeah. It makes so much sense. I was an amazing escape artist for many years. All the different distractions, biohacking was a good one here in Austin. Like that one was like, I think that one's like the coolest, trendiest of the escape mechanisms. And, some people here in Austin may get triggered by that, and that's okay. Because if you're getting triggered, there's something there to look at. Yeah, exactly. Good.
Yeah.
But that was my escape mechanism for a long time until I realized that. And it's like, yeah, no, this is just another escape. And now it's like I get a kink out of sitting with it, you know, and every day and every night I create the space, literally every day and every night. I create the space to just sit with it. And I'm like, I'm getting a kink out of this season, this chapter. I call it polishing the mirror.
Yeah.
It's like, I know we're all mirrors, right? It's this house of mirrors. And it's like, okay. And I'll get into why I'm doing this.
Yeah.
Besides doing the work is like, of course I want to be in romantic relationship. And I've also realized that romantic relationship and dating was oftentimes another escape mechanism for me to, once I find this person, this woman, it's like, it's all lovey-dovey and it becomes my, I don't know, almost like my reason. It's like she sees me and I see her.
Yep.
And then, that goes on for a while and then stuff starts coming up. And then the old Alex just wouldn't want to face these things that are coming up. And then the escape artist would come back. And this was the pattern until I realized like, yeah, no, this is me. I'm the problem. It's me. I'm the common denominator here. So it's like, I got to go and do this work.
Yeah.
And that's been my story over the last year, is like realizing all that. Similar to you, I had a woman that I, really truly believed we were going to get married and do the whole thing. And she was my greatest teacher. She showed me all the things that I got to go within and work on.
Yep.
And here I am. I'm in that working stage. It didn't work out between us, but she showed me, she was the best teacher. She showed me all these things that I get to work on, and that's what I'm doing. But here's my question. Here's what I want to bring it around to is like, knowing that, Ryan, that a lot of people like myself, not casting any judgment, because this was me for my whole life, was always seeking that relationship, that romantic relationship, the dating, this kind of stuff, the dating apps. But now realizing that might be the biggest distraction, is like once we're in this relationship, it doesn't, because we're in that relationship, if we're not both consciously saying, hey, we're in this relationship so that we do the work together, so it becomes not a reason for us to be happy, but for a reason for our consciousness to rise together. And I think I would say, with all due love and respect, most people are not doing that. Most people are not saying, hey, let's join this relationship so we could raise our consciousness together. Most people are doing it because they want to be with someone. They don't want to be alone. They don't necessarily want to sit in the ick of the grief. So I would ask you is like, knowing that, is there a wrong time to be in relationship, or are all relationships just going to still lead us back to that inner boy and inner girl? Or do you think it's better, where I'm trying to go with this is like, do you think it's better to do the work first before going into a relationship, or just going into a relationship knowing it's going to bring it out? Is there a right or wrong? What do you think?
Yeah, I don't know. And all I know is that relationship is the deepest spiritual practice that you can ever practice.
Right.
And
I agree.
the deepest, most profound teacher that will reveal all of your shit. Right. Because you can go, it's very easy to go sit in the mountains.
Right. Be the monk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where you don't have a mirror in front of you.
Yeah.
Right. A relationship will reflect back all of the unresolved grief, wounding, trauma of the younger parts of us. Because when you're getting into a relationship, you're activating the younger parts of you that have been dormant while you've been single. And typically they can only be activated in relationship. Right. And yeah, man. So there is absolutely a necessity for a man to be like solid within himself and okay within himself. So after that relationship, I knew that there was a little boy within me who constantly wanted to be in a relationship, because he didn't have the capacity to deal with the loneliness that I felt my entire life. Right. And to be single was to be alone. And the difference between being alone and experiencing loneliness. I speak about loneliness as the disease of the wounded inner child. And that's where you can be alone. That's where you can be in a crowded room and still feel alone. But what it is, it's actually a disconnection from your soul. Right. So you can be in community, you can have all the people around you, you can even be in relationship and still feel alone. But it's a disconnection from your soul. Whereas you can be alone and deeply connected to your soul, to yourself, to God, spirit, whatever you want to call it. And like, but you're alone and you can feel more connected than someone that has all the people around them, right?
Totally, yeah.
So how much can, the capacity of the man, how much can I be with, how much can I be with like the parts of me that need a woman to fulfill something within me to make me feel good? So after that relationship, I spent 11 months grieving, intentionally focusing on brotherhood, on being with my heart, and deepening into my mission.
Beautiful.
Yeah. And I know I needed that period. And it wasn't, and here's the thing, like the pendulum can swing really far the other way, where it's actually for someone who has lived their life needing a woman to feel good about themselves, and then they cultivate a depth of relationship with themselves when they don't need a woman, they realize how good it feels to be on their own, and the pendulum swings really far the other way, where they actually become closed off to a relationship.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they just lone wolf it, and they're like, I'm just going to build my business. I'm going to hang out with my bros, and I don't need a relationship. Right. But typically I can almost guarantee he'll be turning to porn. He'll be turning to something to experience that kind of connection. So the healthy is in the middle. It's
always.
It's allowing your heart to be open to relationship while also being sovereign in yourself as well.
Yeah.
But sometimes a man needs to go through that season of developing that sovereignty within himself.
Yeah.
And like there needs to be that period of alone time.
Yeah. I agree.
And this is the problem and the disconnection in today's society, and the result of a lack of rites of passage from boy to man in childhood,
right?
Where he doesn't experience what it's like to be disconnected from, and for that to be the cord severed between him and his mother. And then to learn what it means to go and be a man by being and spending more time with healthy, conscious, connected men.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, man. So at some point, a man's got to face that.
Mm-hmm.
He's got to walk that initiation.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, you either do it through choice or you do it through having no other option.
Right. Through crisis usually, right? It's like the walls come in, and it's like if life forces you to do it. I've been through both. Question on that topic. Let's say a man, I have friends in this position, and I won't obviously mention them out of all love and respect, but let's say a man is going through a rough patch, maybe, he doesn't have the best career, money's not good. He's doing the work slowly, but he's not at his best. He's in a rough patch. Would you say, and you've worked with many men, is it better for that man to go and get his shit together, get stability, get a good job going, get some money going where he feels stable so he could show up to a relationship? And or do you think it's fine. Go into the relationship, it's going to just bring out more stuff. And maybe that woman will be a support system for this guy. And he'll have the inspiration. And, we've heard this like the Alex Hormozi and Leila Hormozi thing. Like he had nothing, but he still was in a relationship and they forged this amazing bond together. And it's a beautiful story. And now they're, super happy and successful. And they went through the fire together. And maybe there's no right or wrong, but just out of out of your experience working with men, if you had to pick one, Ryan, you're like, which one would you recommend for the man that's like wants to be in relationship, but his shit isn't together?
Yep. Both. Both at the exact same time.
I love it.
If a relationship presents itself, yes. And that is his North Star. Cultivating the mission, him being in a position where he can support himself financially, support his partner, his family. Because I know that if he doesn't go down that path, it's a matter of time before she loses respect for him.
Right.
And that was me. I chose the other path. And
love. You chose love?
Yeah. And here's the thing, it woke me to my mission. Right. So, but it's both.
Yeah.
But the thing is because I didn't prioritize my mission, and when a man doesn't make his mission his North Star, and he doesn't have a North Star, his woman becomes his mission.
Yeah. They don't like that.
No.
Yeah.
And this has been such a controversial thing that
Yeah.
I've had a lot of kickback on, and I'm like, I stand for this, that if a man isn't prioritizing his mission in relationship, he will make his woman his mission, and he will lose himself in that relationship over time.
Yeah.
And I did that. And I work with hundreds of men who have done that and who are doing that. And this is why, and it is both. It's relationship and mission. There's no separation, but his mission needs to be his North Star. He needs to be okay with or without a relationship.
Right.
He needs to have a life that is deeply inspiring to him with or without a relationship.
Right.
Yeah. And because
that way he's not codependent.
Yeah.
He's secure.
Yeah.
Right. And that's where I want to go back to it. Well said. And I fully agree. I'm mission first. And because of that, it creates a lot of discernment for me. It helps create discernment because I love my mission. I love what I'm doing and I'm open to a relationship. Of course, I see the power in relationships. This is the best teacher ever.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm like, I'm open. And it's like, why would I be in relationship with you, lovely lady? As long as it's going to add to my mission, not subtract from my mission, right? So it gives this other filter to approach it. And it helps me stay clear, and it helps weed out the distractions, because women they're the most beautiful creatures in this world.
Yeah.
And they can be also the biggest distraction in this world, as you said, so I love that.
And that's why that's why I like to say women, or the feminine, is literally the reflection of God. Right. And it'll either, they will, through the eyes of the feminine, be reflecting back to you where you're not living in truth within yourself as a man. And yes, it will be a distraction, but that's because you're not owning your truth and you're allowing it to be a distraction. And typically men allow women to be a distraction that take them off their path, because it's a little boy within him seeking to be held and nurtured and nourished to fulfill something within him.
Right.
Yeah.
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 Well said.
That's the boy.
That's the boy. Exactly. Wow. It's
Yeah.
so good. Wow. Yeah. I brought up a lot. That's good stuff. Yeah. I've had all those experiences. I've had it where I got lost. I got in distraction with the woman. And then I've had it where I've just like doubled down on the mission and closed myself off because it's less comfortable, or it's more comfortable than opening the heart and being vulnerable and all this kind of stuff. And now it's like finding that middle way, right? It's always about the middle way.
Yeah.
And I'd still say this, like, I agree. Relationships are the best teacher. You know, I'd say it's all relationships. Life is all relationships. And I think you touched on this earlier, and I want to bring it back. I want to double click on it. Is for me, and I stand firmly on this, and I'd love to hear your reflection on it. But like for me, the ultimate relationship of it all is our relationship with the present moment. The present moment it's omnipresent, right? It doesn't go away. And that's the one, that relationship is going to dictate our relationship with all the other relationships. And that's what I see the commonality here in Austin and all kinds of places where people put the other relationships ahead of that one. They can't even forget about this present moment relationship that we have going on. But if one can make their relationship with the present moment like their best friend, like their husband or their wife, you know, like I think it all really flows from there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. This ties into grief again.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's dive into this.
To have a relationship with grief is to honor death. Right? Think of when someone is dying on their deathbed, they are the most present to the moment. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
And this is a practice that I do myself and that I get men to do as well, is to meditate on their death.
Wow, Ryan.
Yeah.
Powerful.
Because to honor that,
that's real. That's real as fuck. Yeah.
It just brings us straight back to this moment right now.
Yeah.
I don't know what might happen when I walk out of this podcast studio, right? It's like,
it's not.
And really honoring that, it's like, I have the gift of life today.
Yeah.
So this is where I will walk through life with my grief in one hand and love and gratitude in the other hand. And the reason I can walk through life with so much love and gratitude is because I can walk through life with so much grief as well at the same time.
Beautiful.
And this is where like love and grief are sisters that are like intertwined together. They're the two sides to the same coin.
Right.
And to have a relationship with death is to have a relationship with life.
Right.
And this relates to relationships. In order to love fully, you also have to be willing to
die fully.
and to experience loss and to feel the grief.
Yeah.
But we are in a society today where we're so disconnected from grief.
Yeah.
And grief is the natural process of growth. How we know that is we look at nature. Nature goes through seasons. It goes through a breakdown. So there can be expansion and evolution and growth in the summer. So it goes through a winter so there can be a summer.
Right.
As humans, we just want to live in summer all the fucking time. Yeah. Especially in relationships.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And dude, I think, it'd be a great time to share that quote that I have here.
Please, you're on a roll here. That's so good.
This is something that I live by, and to, as you shared around, the only relationship we have is with this moment. When we're operating from our wounds or from the little boy or the trauma, this is where we can't truly be present. Like a man who can't be truly present in this moment, I can almost guarantee is a man who's operating and living from the wounds of his childhood. How I know that is because if you're not able to be present it's because you're worried or you're concerned or you're living in a state of anxiety of something that might happen in the future. You're living in a state of fear of what might happen in the future. And you're projecting that into the future based on what you've experienced in the past. Yeah.
Totally.
So when a man...
You're in a loop.
You're in a loop. Yeah. So until a man reclaims his past and reclaims a little boy within him, he's not going to be able to be truly present, especially in a relationship. Relationships are the most fearful fucking things that you can experience. Yeah. Because you're exposing yourself to the potential grief.
Yeah.
That could come up.
Death. Yeah. The grief. Yeah. Well said.
So there's this quote. When our grief cannot be spoken, it falls into the shadow and rearises in us as symptoms. So many of us are depressed, anxious, lonely, reactive, shut down relationships. We struggle with addictions, distractions. We find ourselves moving at a breathless pace, trying to keep up with the machinery of our culture. Grief keeps the heart flexible, fluid, and open to others.
Wow. Yeah, that lands. And it's such I was thinking about this the other day. It's perfect. So perfect. My relationship with death.
Yeah.
You know, my greatest mentor I ever had, coolest, most brilliant guy. It was such a blessing to just be able to spend time with him. He had the most unique and remarkable relationship with death. Like he was like, bring it on. Like death is going to be my final friend, but it's still he had no fear really of death at all. And he was like, most people are just not living this way. And that's what I get from you as well. Is like, you're living in a way, you're living in a frequency that 99% of people are not living in. And that's going to put you on that's going to attract things that 99% of people don't get. And that's just the reality of it. It's like most people, like you said, they want to live in summer all the time. They want to be in love all the time. They want to not look at what could be the scariest thing, which is death, that this life is temporary. And in that temporariness, it's finite. It's infinite and it's finite, but in this body, at least, it's finite. And that's where you really see the value is like, yeah, that's all we have is right now in this podcast right now. And when we go outside, we don't know what's going to happen, but, and in that is like where the real aliveness starts to come through. And that's really our essence is we're alive, we're here, right? And it's so temporary. Okay. And that brings me to my other point, which is, something I've been seeing a lot of, this pattern where, okay, and let's go into this. A bit of a side shift, but aliveness, aliveness for me has always been something I really cherish. Like I get it. My mentor taught me this, like, it's also temporary. You got to live life. You got to enjoy it healthily, responsibly, but also knowing that it's also temporary. And that for me has been probably the thing that really fueled my relationships. Like women, when we were in a relationship, they would eventually always say that I just feel so alive with you. I feel this passion, right? And that's what for me is a big pillar in my life is passion for this aliveness. And then, the relationship wouldn't work out for many reasons. Sometimes at the early stage, I was the anxious, secure style. Then I became the avoidant. Then at times I was the secure. Then I went back to avoidant, so that's something else I want to get into. But anyway, they didn't work out, but then I've been seeing this pattern over and over, where after me, they go on to like the safe guy, sometimes the nice guy, but the commonality was like, he makes me feel safe. And I love that. I get it. Women want to feel safe. It's a big thing. But then they circle back and they're like, something's missing out of that relationship, and sometimes they even got married. Sometimes they had children with the safe guy. But then for some reason, they're circling back to me and they're like, yeah, there's something that's missing in my relationship. And I'm like, well, what is it? And they're like, it's the passion. It's the aliveness. So in your experience in relationships, working with many men and stuff like that, what is it? Do you think that women just get so tired? Like they get, what's going on there? What do you see as that pattern as I share? And like, be as honest as you want. Like I could take it all, but. What's your reflection on that?
It's hard to say, like, and this is why I don't coach, or I don't, mentor relationships. I work with the men becoming deeply connected to themselves and cultivating that relationship with themselves. But, the nuance of that is she could have a part of her that is unable to choose that man fully and to continue to choose him on deeper and deeper layers, right? Because of whatever's going on for her, right?
Sure.
Yeah. And yeah, like, I don't know, maybe there's a part that, and it's what is like define safe, like what is for,
Right.
for her to define what a safe man actually is.
Right. That's a really
To be
good
a safe man is to be a fucking dangerous man too.
point.
Right? It's to be a man who can cause harm and cause danger, but that's controlled. It's like that controlled, it's like the warrior in the garden.
Yeah.
Yeah. And sometimes like women want to feel that edge. They want to feel that this man's got a fucking edge to him.
Yeah.
And that can bring out that aliveness, right? And I believe like that edge comes where a man has a relationship with death.
Right.
Because he's willing to live on edge. He's willing to take risks.
Yeah.
Calculated risks. He's
Right.
willing to play big in life. He's willing to live fully in the present moment, compared to a nice guy who just sits behind his laptop and just fucking works all the time. Like, it's boring.
Yeah.
Yeah. But underneath that is maybe potentially a little boy trying to prove himself to the world. And that sense of aliveness is like, I can feel you. I can feel your aliveness, your heart, because you're here in this moment. And who's to say if that's, like, there would be a lot of nuance in that conversation if it's coming from wounding or trauma, or if there's realness to that in that sense of aliveness that she's craving from, that she experiences from you, so to speak, right? So, yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah, no, it's a great way to put it. There's a lot of nuance there, and all my relationships have been different. I'd say like most of them had very little trauma, I would say. Like, it was mostly, I think that's what I'm surfing on, is like, I could still make them feel safe, but they know that there's an edge there. Like, I've never, and this is my own stuff as I think about it's coming up, like, I've never fully really felt out of control in the relationship. Like, and maybe that's my avoidant, like, is like, I will retract, and then they probably feel like they can't control me in that sense. And that was where I would get my sense of safety. But now I'm learning it's like, no, just really leaning in and like opening heart and being vulnerable. That's really the edge that I get to work on. But I think looking back, it was like, yeah, Alex has the aliveness, but he also, he's not unhinged. Like, I would never lose my shit, I would never lose my cool. So yeah, that's very interesting. And we'll see how these patterns. Go ahead, Ryan.
Yeah, I was just going to say with sometimes like these anxious avoidant dynamics can happen and play out in the most subtle ways. Right. So that sense of like, I could pull away if I want to. And like, there's that edge of you, like, kind of riding that edge, and her little girl, wanting that attention. Yeah. Right. And then chasing dad.
Right.
Right.
Totally.
And like that in the most subtle way. It's like, oh, there's just something about him. It just feels familiar.
Right. It's in their nervous system.
Yeah.
Yeah. That makes sense.
With attachment styles, I don't like labels.
Okay.
I will speak about attachment styles because everyone knows about them.
I want to speak about them. So let's navigate through this without the labels if you want.
Yeah. No, and it's great. The labels are good because it does give us a conceptual understanding of what's happening, right? So it's good to a degree, but the reason I don't like it is because people stay there, right? And they're working with the label.
Right. It's their story.
It's the story.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, oh, my avoidance coming out and
I'm this.
Yeah. Or I'm anxious or whatever, or I'm both.
Yeah. I'm not both.
I'm both. I'm fucking all of them.
Yeah.
Right. And they come out at certain times because they're parts of us trying to protect us.
Right.
So our attachment styles in relationship are coping mechanisms and strategies that we've developed to either get our needs met in childhood or to protect ourselves from being hurt again. Yeah. And this is where, like, when our anxious or avoidant attachment system is triggered in relationship, what's actually triggered is our original blueprint of relationship from childhood and the strategies that we use to protect ourselves or to get our needs met. So this is where just being in a relationship triggers our original blueprint. Our body doesn't know the difference between this relationship and your first experience of relationship. There's implicit memory, right? Relationships trigger the dormant, unresolved younger parts of us, and also the playful parts of us as well, right? We've got the neglected inner child, the wounded inner child, and then we've got the fully expressed, authentic inner child as well.
Yeah,
and relationships always bring that out,
right? Because there's so much talk here, especially in Austin. The inner kid, you got to honor the inner kid and all that kind of stuff. But there's both, right? There's the inner kid that's like the pure artist, like prior to 7 years old, maybe, that's just unconditional love without the programming. And then, like you said, things happen, and then the identity begins to form, right? And that's like where the wounded boy or girl comes in. Am I right there? Is that fair to say?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And it's honoring both is really what it is, right? Relationships, having a relationship with both of them and being like, okay, I see you, young Ryan or young Alex that wants to just create and have fun and play and explore and go on adventures. And like, I'm going to honor that. And I see, the wounded Alex or wounded Ryan that needs to grieve and be loved and be held and be, and be shine light on and paid attention to. Is that fair to say?
Yeah.
Right. And that can only be done by going within.
When that little boy is activated or triggered or feeling unsafe, when we go in and create safety for those younger parts of us, typically what will happen is that child will finally, in that moment, feel safe to be themselves. Let me explain. When I was a little boy, I didn't feel safe in my family system. And I didn't feel safe because of the emotional disconnection in the family system. I didn't know what to expect. I was always kind of on edge.
Right.
I knew the way that my dad would put the keys in the front door, what mood he was in. That's how hypervigilant I was to the system and where people were at.
Wow.
I could tell by mum's tone of voice what I was going to receive from her, right? A side note, something we could talk about is the deepest wounding men experience is typically actually from women, from the feminine.
Right, yeah.
And that's where a lot of that has stemmed from me. But basically, to paint the picture, I didn't feel safe in my family system. And there's that hypervigilance, that real subtlety of that, but also from the point of I was easily dismissed and this is where I minimized my voice, that expressed inner child, that fully expressed little boy. I asked a lot of questions, right? I had a lot of energy, and that was a lot for parents who had a lot going on for themselves emotionally. It was overwhelming for them. And I started to feel that, okay, my expression is too much and I'm not actually safe to be myself. And when I'm in my family, I got to be whoever I need to be for them.
Right. Yeah.
And that sense of that lack of safety I felt in my family system, it was safer for me to just spend all my time in my bedroom. So as a little boy, I spent most of my time in my bedroom and on my own. And, there's the stories and the beliefs and all that comes from that. But basically, what it looks like to go in and create safety is, as your adult self today, and this is something that I notice myself, I do quite often, is knocking on that door in a very soft, gentle way, letting him know, hey, I'm here. You're safe.
Awesome.
I've got you. And I let him open the door.
Nice.
Metaphorically, what's happening is that my heart's opening.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice,
when
Ryan.
he feels safe to open the door, There's no separation. That little boy is part of me. I am him. He is me. There's no separation.
That's awesome.
So when he feels safe to open the door, typically I notice my shoulders drop, my jaw relax, and I'm like, okay, we're good.
It's gold.
How that's shown up for me is as a high performing man, I can find myself in my bedroom behind my laptop working, and I prevent myself from being in community. And this is where self-isolation comes from. I heard somewhere the other day that self-isolation or isolation in general is just as bad as having or smoking 15 cigarettes a day.
Wow.
For your health.
Wow.
Yeah.
Needs connection.
Yeah. I isolated a lot growing up. Spent a lot of time on my own. I notice when that part of me comes up where I'm just like a hermit. I don't want to go out. I don't want to connect with people. That's what I was sharing with you. It's been overwhelming being here in Texas, right?
It's a lot of people.
Yeah. And it's been a continuous holding that little boy, the younger part of me. It's like, oh, fuck, like this is overwhelming being in so many communities because I'm not used to that.
Right.
I'm used to being in my room.
Totally get it. Yep.
Right. But me being in that room is me closing my heart to opening myself to people and being in community. And this is the subtlety of how the little boy can control our life. The very thing I want, which is love, connection, and community, right? I will avoid and neglect because that's so overwhelming for me. And I would rather just sit in my bedroom.
Wow.
That's the little boy.
Wow.
And it takes for us to go in and create that safety for that younger part of us to go, actually, it's safe to leave. It's safe to come out.
Wow.
And you know, that's the difference between the wounded inner child is the boy who stays stuck in there, stays isolated, and the safe inner child. It's like, oh, I can open my heart to the world. I can be myself. Like that's the difference.
Right. Yeah. It's powerful, man. Yeah. That's powerful stuff. Wow. It brings up a lot for me. I could totally relate to that in my seasons of isolation. You know, what I tell myself, what I hear the story going on in my head is like, I utilize those times to really do the work and clear things out, you know? And then I'll have seasons where I'm like fully back into community and like showing up and all these kind of things. And then usually that's where like I'll attract a relationship. And then it's back to that gauntlet of all kinds of other stuff that comes up in that, that relationship, you know? And then it's like, okay, that relationship doesn't work out. And then it's like back to the isolation. But they've shown me what to work on. You know, that's the key is I just keep going back to that inner work with the intention. And I don't know if this is right or wrong. This is literally just what I'm like trying to figure out is like with the intention is like, okay, as long as I do this inner work, when I go to my next relationship, there'll be less stuff for us to actually work through. You know, it can be more of a harmonious relationship because I'll attract someone else that's like, on this level of done the work. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Is that
that makes sense.
Or?
I feel right. Cause I'm not in partnership right now at the moment either.
I was going to ask you. Yeah.
Yeah. There's nuance. There's reasons for that we could go into if we feel the need to speak about that.
Sure.
But what I've noticed is that I feel people are like waiting for the finished product.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
There's no finished product.
Yeah.
It never ends. The work never ends.
No. It's just, are you willing to choose this person fully?
Yeah.
And that's it. Like it's as simple as that. And it's a continuous choosing every day. I choose you every day. I choose you.
Choosing the grief, right? It's like choosing like, hey, I'm willing and open and ready to fucking grieve with you every day.
Yep. Reason I'm not in partnership right now is because I haven't connected with someone yet, right? It's still like I've still been going through my grieving journey. Like it's still been you know, like but I haven't connected with someone yet where I've felt fully chosen by them. And that's something that's really beautiful that I get to say no to if I don't feel that, because that's what I wouldn't have. I would have chased it previously, right? But yeah, man, the boy in relationship or the boy in dating, he wants it to be easy.
Right.
He wants an easy life. He wants a woman that makes his life easy. Yeah.
Yeah.
As I shared before, the boy will question and ask, like, how can I get out of feeling this? Or, how can this be easy?
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah. The man chooses hard. He chooses the
Expansion.
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That makes so much sense, man. Because my big relationship, the big teacher, was so challenging for me. It was so expansive. And I had a lot of other shit going on. I had a lot of struggles with my business that were taking up a lot of my energy and capacity. So I found it very challenging to like show up to the relationship and then face the challenges of that relationship. That's why I kind of was alluding to that earlier, is like, is it better to just get your shit together and stable, or do you just go for it and do it all? And I agree, there's always the middle way. And then from there, after that super challenging relationship, which was the best teacher and the most expansive, I went for the easy relationship. Like I went for the the woman that was just gonna co-sign on all my bullshit and just and it was honestly so boring.
Yep.
And it was so, I felt like there was no soul in that relationship. Like my soul was just like, what are you doing? And it became very clear. There was some other things there as well that just weren't like, it wasn't it. It just wasn't the thing. There was no aliveness.
Yep.
And, but I could relate to all of that. So
I've experienced that too, where there was no aliveness. And it was actually because I felt so safe.
Yeah. Yeah. Totally.
That it was boring.
Right.
And
is that good, or what is that just what is that about?
That so I'll speak about that, because that was a man, I've experienced not being chosen, I've experienced being chosen. I've experienced a deep, insecure, like unsafe, reckless feminine energy, and I've experienced deep safety as well, right? Now, I'll vulnerably speak about this. I've actually never spoken about this to anyone on a podcast.
Amazing.
It was a very, very beautiful woman that I connected with about a year ago. And I had never felt so safe in the communication, in the choosing, in the all of it. Like it was, I really had to check myself and be like, whoa, like I wanted to there was parts of me wanted to run away, parts of me that was like, I don't believe this is not true. Just battling the reality that I've experienced my entire life from women, right? And it was a very, very, very beautiful connection. And there was so much growth and expansion for me. And in the realization of men also need to feel safe in relationship.
Right.
The way a woman communicates her energy, from what place she's coming from, her respect towards him, men need to feel safe in relationship too. And that was the first time I really experienced this deep sense of safety from this woman. And I also noticed that there was the real humanness to it, where there wasn't the physical attraction. And that was one of the hardest things I've actually had to grieve. Yeah. Was honoring that, knowing that that's, and actually owning that that's important to me.
Right.
And that's something that I own. That's something that I choose, is the beauty of, like, when I see there's the battle of, right, the consciousness and spirituality of, like, you see beyond.
Sure.
Right.
That's
the physicalness when you're.
That's a thing too. Yeah.
But it's also honoring that we're human too.
Yeah.
And, I want to be physically drawn and attracted to my partner.
Yeah.
But I know it was God placing this woman in front of me to show me what's possible from a woman.
Yeah.
And what's possible from, whoa, like this is the level of safety that a man can actually receive from a woman in relationship as well. That was a deep teacher for me.
Yeah.
But at first it was, this feels boring.
Yeah.
Because there's no chase.
Right.
I don't have to chase this.
Right.
It works. And then it was, relationship is It's a meeting,
Mm.
right? It's not an overextending.
Mm-hmm.
To be in relationship is to meet someone and to be met in relationship.
Mm-hmm.
That's relationship.
Mm-hmm.
It's nothing less than that.
Yeah.
And nothing more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah, that makes sense. And you can one can only meet the other person as deep as they go themselves, right? For that quote before. And it's so true. And then that's real love too, is like just meeting them where they're at. And if one is willing to be patient and do the work alongside them while they, go within and do this deeper work too, right? Like sometimes I just wasn't willing or patient enough to like allow them to get to that depth that I was, at. There's so many things, man. These relationships are just like the ultimate teachers.
Yeah. It's like, can you choose this person for who they are?
Not the potential.
Not the potential. The potential is the fantasy and what we call the mystification of the wounded inner child.
Oof.
Yeah. And it's where we live in this false reality and this fantasy of the future of what could be because we're unable to honor the present.
Wow.
Yeah. And that's what got me into a lot of painful relationships.
For sure. I could sense that.
Yeah.
Ryan, this has been such a treat, man. Really good getting to know you and going deep with you. I got one more question and then we could, if there's anything else you want to bring up or talk about all the cool stuff that you're doing. But let's say, we're both not in a relationship right now. I think that's probably going to change in the relatively near future, just out of a circumstance. But let's say when you show up to this next relationship, whoever this lucky lady may be, what are 3 or 4 pillars that you will be, choosing to show up to that relationship with, bar none? No, like these are non-negotiable pillars that you will bring to this relationship as a man.
Man, incredible question. First would be my unwavering devotional connection to myself, like to my heart, to soul, to spirit, right? So whatever that's needing, if that's me needing to go away for a few weeks and sit in ceremony, or me, spending time with my bros, or, whatever it is that I need to really honor myself so I can show up in my fullness, where previously I couldn't do that because I was fearful if I chose myself that she would find someone else or she would leave, right?
Yeah.
I was so insecure that I couldn't even take a fucking day to myself, right? So it'd be that. It'd be the choosing of me first. Yeah. Then it would be like her. Like it'd be my devotional like honoring of her. It's kind of like seeing her as like my altar. Is something that I'm willing to continue to show up for and to have reflect back to me my deeper truth as well. So allowing myself to see her like as the reflection of God back to me, where I'm not living in truth.
Wow.
Instead of like these power dynamics of she's above me, she's below me. And when we're operating from the wounded inner child, it's power dynamics. It's I'm above her or she's below me. I pedestal her or I look down on her.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So instead of that, like seeing her as the altar. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Then mission. Right. Normally I would say mission above all of it. Right. But I know that those first two, if you aren't choosing those and you aren't connected to those, it's going to heavily impact your mission. Yeah. It's kind of like this. To be fair, these are in no specific order.
Okay. Yeah. They're all just pillars.
Yeah. They're just,
I love that.
For me to honor what it is that my mission is needing from me and the level of commitment and devotion, and for me to be, I would say, unwavering in that, but considerate in that as well, like being in partnership. Yeah. I know there's certain things, for example, traveling the world, running events, that if that's an issue in the relation, then it's not going to work.
Non-negotiable.
Yeah. So that's a non-negotiable is my mission. And what I'm here to do, who I'm here to be in the world. Brotherhood.
Nice. Yeah.
That, I would say that we'll just leave it at that. Brotherhood. That has to be an absolute staple in every man's life.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not just saying time with the boys,
Mm-hmm.
right? Or having a training partner that's a man.
Right.
No,
Yeah.
I'm saying intentional time
Yeah.
in deep reflection with men
Yeah.
in a ritual, ceremonial setting.
Sacred way. Yeah.
Yeah. Whether it's 30 minutes once a week, where this is our intentional ceremonial connection for us to drop in and speak into what's real
Mm-hmm.
and how and what we need to support each other to be better.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When a man doesn't have that, he doesn't have brotherhood.
Yeah.
He leans on his woman to support him emotionally.
Yeah. Too much.
Yeah.
And then, yeah. Not
Yeah.
good. Not
And
good
he-
for the polarity.
No.
Yeah.
He loses himself in that relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
So, and that was me. I didn't prioritize brotherhood, and I brought my wounds to my partner
Mm-hmm.
and expected her to support me in those wounds,
Mhm.
which is, I think a lot of us bring things to relationships that a relationship is just not for.
Yeah. It's not built for that.
No.
Yeah.
So you bring your wounds to your brothers.
Yeah.
You go sit in circle with that, and
Yeah.
you bring the awareness to your woman.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. I love that. I'm a big believer in that. I've said that. I've seen it so many times where men don't have that, Ryan, sadly. And it's exactly that. Then their woman's like, "Hey, what's going on? What's wrong?" Da, da, da. And then they unload
Yep.
that, that trauma or whatever's going on in their life. And, the woman's like, "No, I want you to be vulnerable," and all this they say that. They think that.
Yep.
And they do want you to be vulnerable, but they want you to have already done the work with the bros, with the brotherhood. So you can get that, get it off your chest. So it's not, and then you get the reflections back. So then you can show up being like, yeah, this is what's going on. And I'm being honest and vulnerable about that. And here's what I'm going to do about it. So you don't have to worry about it. I got this. And right.
Yeah. It's like, I've got me. I've already sat with this. I've been with this.
Yeah.
And there's a difference between being vulnerable with your woman and being open with her.
Right.
Right. When I see, and a lot of the times when men are leaning on their woman to be supported emotionally, it's the little boy within him seeking for a mother
Right.
to hold him, to nurture him, and to soothe him.
Yeah.
So then she starts to play into the dynamic of being his mother and taking care of him. And in the most subtle way.
Mm-hmm.
It happens in the most subtle way that over time is just like this cancer that eats away at the relationship.
Yeah.
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 And unfortunately, a lot of men wait until the cancer has killed the relationship before they realize why it is so important to have brothers, to have men, to have a space to go and sit in ceremony every week and to bring your wounds so you don't lean on your relationship to be supported emotionally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well said, man. It's so valuable.
Yeah.
So valuable. This has been such a treat, man. Thank you so much. Thank you for all the work that you're doing. Honestly, the world needs it, right? It's like relationships are everything. And by doing this inner work, we get to show up to our relationships in a way that can hold and lead and, allow women to feel safe and open and be that reflection of the feminine, godly energy that they are, most beautiful creatures ever. So thank you. Thank you so much. Is there anything else that you want to share with the audience before we tune off here?
Not really, man. I think just, that's exactly it. Like that's why I'm so passionate about this work, is because I know, what I needed as a little boy was that the heart of the family system is mom and dad, is the relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And I know what this world needs and what that would do for this world, having more safe, conscious, grounded men who are pillars in their family system for their woman to rely on them so they can be that heart of the system, right? Exactly what I needed as a little boy. So, man, I'm just, excited. Thank you for having me on here to continue to share this message. Yeah.
Of course, man. I look forward to another one down the road, when you're back in Austin, but this has been such a great podcast getting to know you, Ryan, and just keep up the great work, man. It's awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.